Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 30 of the Brandon Holt Show with special guests from Hollywood, California, Annie, McFunny, McKnight from the Netherlands, fitness expert, Get Fit with John from Houston, Texas, attorney Symone Redwine, girl, is that legal? From Dallas, Texas, Dr. Lawana Gladney, the L Spot with Dr. G. Stand on your feet and put your hands together for our host.
You're already clapping. You're already clapping. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Houston's own internationally acclaimed two-time author and motivational speaker extraordinaire. Give it up for the host of the Brandon Holt Show. It's Brandon.
Good evening and welcome to episode 30 of the Brandon Holt Show. I'm your host, Brandon Holt. We have a show in store for you tonight. Make sure you share the feed with all of your friends, families, and loved ones. You will not be disappointed tonight. Sit back and relax. Hey, let's get the show started.
Is Dr. G, the L Spot with Dr. G. I want to tell you, you have to join us this Tuesday on the Brandon Holt Show as we discuss this love month. Guess what's happening this month? It's Valentine's Day, and I have some important tips for you on this love month, as well as we have a special surprise. So you don't want to miss us this month on the L Spot with Dr. G on the Brandon Holt Show.
My next guest is no stranger to the Brandon Holt Show. Help me welcome the L Spot with Dr. G. Doc, good evening to you.
Good evening. How are you today, Brandon?
I'm doing wonderful. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. The L Spot. What exactly does that mean? So those who've never heard of it, you can bring them up to speed.
Well, you know, the L Spot is all about that love thing.
Come on, Doc.
That we all want, the thing that we all strive for, it is love. So loving whatever, you can fill in the blank. Loving you, loving someone else, loving things, you know, it's all about love. And so I'm here to help people understand how to do that.
And we are in the love month, February, Valentine's Day. It's going down. Everybody's trying to get their date together. And tell us about, what does Valentine's Day mean?
Well, Brandon, you know, this is so interesting because during this time of the year, I'm telling you, it's the most dreaded time for some people. And
Right.
for other people, it's what they look for.
Right.
And so I always have a lot of people calling me, contacting and saying, oh my God, it's another Valentine's Day. Either I'm alone or, you know, what do I do? The pressure of the date. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to give out some statistics because during this time of the year, there's about $27.4 billion with a B, that's spent on this holiday. And it's the second highest holiday from Christmas. And so what happens is all this pressure comes in to spend, and it's become a commercialized holiday of flowers, cards, gifts, lingerie, dinners, all of the stuff you can imagine. So it's this commercialized holiday that, guess what, Brandon, is really only focused for the people. I think that people make it bigger when you're not married than the married people. Married people like, look, I love on you all year. Why do I have to take one day and love you? But for the single people, it becomes a huge deal. So it's something that we have to talk about. And, you know, they said about 31% of the people expect you to spend $50 or more. $50 or more on your gift. So this is why we have all of this. And guess what? 4 out of 10 people will break up with you if you don't.
So, Doc, is there a COVID-19 spin? You know, that way we can bypass the $50 this year and just have a virtual date. Is that acceptable?
You know what? Right now, anything is going. You can
Right.
get a lot of stuff in COVID, and say, you know what, we're gonna have a virtual day. You know, you could send them a bottle of wine and be fine, and say, you know, you're gonna, because you can't send the food over. So
Right.
just say, hey, I'll send you a bottle of wine, and we could drink the wine together virtually. Yeah, pretty much anything is going right now.
So, Doc, I'm a single man, and what are some tips for singles in getting through Valentine's Day? And that's kind of a two-part question. I also would like some tips for someone out there who they may not have a date and they see everybody else going out. Maybe it's kind of hurt their self-esteem a little bit. They feel like they're not, you know, validated or accepted, and you know, they don't feel a part of.
Right.
How can you boost that person's ego and give them some tips on how to make it through? Because we are less than how many days away? We're
I
14
know.
days away.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Brandon, is so funny that you asked the question, because oftentimes it affects women more than it affects men. Generally, because some men break up.
Wait. Go back to that, Doc. You said it often. What now?
It often affects women more than it does men.
Okay. All right.
They're alone on Valentine's Day, because the man is usually spending all the money. This is not to say that some women don't give gifts, but generally it's a holiday thought of that the gifts are going for the woman.
Okay.
So the men are spending the money to show how much they love you, to show how much they care, or some of it's all fake. And we're going to talk about that too. Some of it's all fake. It's like, you know what, I'm going to get something to give. To get something. So Valentine's Day is generally
Speak on it, Doc.
it's generally thought of as a day for the woman. So a lot of times men aren't sitting around wishing they had somebody on Valentine's Day like the women do. And so I think it's so interesting that I do have to help women how to get through this time, because when you feel like, oh, you're all alone, guess what we're going to see? On Facebook, Instagram, all of these social medias, you're going to see popping up pictures all over the place. Look at these beautiful roses I got. Oh, we went here for dinner. All this love stuff. And when you're single, it does affect particularly the woman's self-esteem, because she doesn't have anybody. She doesn't have that love person. You see my quotes, that love person that is showering her with something. And so it will make you feel bad, and it'll make you feel depressed. What I tell people, first of all, we got to recognize what you're seeing on social media is not always the real deal.
I want you to park right there, Dr. Gladney. Kind of go a little bit deeper on that. What you see on social media is not always what you think it is. Dig a little bit deeper on that.
Okay, so when I say that, because, you know, people put the best of their lives on social media. So on Valentine's Day, everybody wants to brag on what's happening on these special days and everything that I've gotten, which somebody looks at that and says, oh, their life is wonderful. I wish I had that in my life. And I tell people the realization is sometimes, one, people are just posting pictures. Two, you see them out to dinner, they're arguing. I know, I've been there. I was married 24 years. Every time Valentine's Day come around, and I've been single for 11 years. So it's not like every Valentine's Day was something so wonderful. And you may be arguing. You see couples and, oh, they out for steak and lobster or whatever else you think. And it may not be what's going on. And then the next day, it may just be, you know, argument, big blow up. So it's not all this happy, wonderful stuff that you think. People post what they want you to see, but behind the closed doors. And so I tell people, don't get all caught up in thinking that, oh, that person. And some people, they just went on a date, and guess what? They'll never see that person again. Or that doesn't mean they're in a relationship. So I tell people, don't get caught up on that. But the other thing about social media, Brandon, is I want to tell everybody, hey, here's a trick. Okay, I want you to go and buy you something. Go buy you some flowers, and you know, buy you some flowers, take a picture of it, and post it on Valentine's Day. The love of my life sent this to me. The love of your life right now is you. The love of my life sent me some flowers. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So you could have something to post too, and you won't have to feel like you're missing out on something, because the person that truly is you that loves yourself. You know.
So what you're saying is self-care, self-love, love yourself. Don't depend on validation from someone else. Don't feel like you have to go on social media and post a picture to get likes and hearts and everybody thinks that things are going great for you. Make sure that, you know, you are number one.
You are number one. And most of the time, the people that are really married and they've been married for a long time, they're not celebrating Valentine's Day like that, because they love on each other all the times of the year. And they're like, we're not getting ready to go fight a crowd of people, just to say we're going out to dinner. Generally their budgets are different as well. So they're not trying to spend a whole lot of money. It's like, look, we got bills, we got life to do. So I'm telling people that it's really a holiday that's been so commercialized. I also tell women to treat yourself. Get a mani and a pedi and a massage on that day. Make yourself feel good. We have all of these Galentine, Brandon, that's what we call them now. Galentine has come up the last 5 years or so, when groups of women, you get together with your girlfriends and you have brunch or dinner or whatever, and you go out. And so you can love on each other, tell each other how much you mean to each other as friends, as a woman, to really validate you and empower you. It doesn't have to be that it's from a man that's showering you with some gifts that may be very superficial. So that's going to help people to kind of get through this time. And I also say to love on yourself. And what that means, not just this day, but constantly. It is constant self-care. Because if you want somebody to love you, you're going to have to love yourself in order to get that person that's going to love you like you love yourself. You know what I'm saying? So
Doc, speaking on loving yourself, if a man is going to take a woman out for Valentine's Day in the evening time, and it's a date on Valentine's Day, is he wrong for taking another woman out for breakfast Valentine's, another lady out for lunch on Valentine's, and one for dinner on Valentine's? Now, we're not talking about an exclusive relationship. We're talking about just a friendly Valentine's date. Can he do that? And if he does he have to disclose to each one that he's already had 2 other dates? Come on, Doc, help us.
Okay, great question. First of all, you said it's not an exclusive relationship. So that means that person is dating, and you have the right to date whoever you want to date. Now, you don't have to tell anybody your business unless you're close to them and the relationship is a little different, dynamic. But no, absolutely not. You don't have to say, oh, you're the third person. Now, if any man is going to do that, I applaud you, because that's a lot of money on one day. You're shelling out a lot of stuff, because then you got to buy a card. You're going to buy something else. If you're doing that, I just think, and I do know guys that will just take women out, and they'll take a group of them out just because they know they're not with somebody. And they'll say, hey, you know what? This is just a friendly thing. Why don't we just go out? I know, they're still single, whatever. And it makes the woman feel special. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And power to that man. Hey, if you out there listening and you need that hookup or whatever, you can do that here on the Brandon Holt Show. Can we get somebody some dates, and you that kind of man, want to spend that kind of time and money?
Right.
Go for it.
So Dr. G, now, what if the brother, and I'm not speaking to anybody in particular, we are trying to get some Valentine's Day advice. We have 14 days to prepare for this big day. What if a brother doesn't have the funds to go on a nice date? What if his funds only allow him to go to a fast food restaurant? Or, hey, I can't take you out, but we can go to the park. We can do a couple of laps in the park. I can make some sandwiches. But that's all now, there's a difference between a brother who's being cheap and a brother who just doesn't have it. So as a female, how do you receive a brother who may not have it opposed to a brother who has it? He's just being cheap.
Well, so if a brother does, that's a good question, because everybody right now, the world, things are tight.
COVID-19.
And so if, you know what, there's so much to be said with, it's the thought that counts. That's truly it. So if you don't have it, somebody don't have to know that you don't have it. It is really about, if you wanted to do a picnic in the park, you can go and buy some little grocery things or to buy some wine and cheese. Doesn't have to be a dinner. I don't think you want to say, let's go for some laps or anything. That would be something different. But like, what you trying to say? I need to run.
Right. You're right. No, correct.
You don't want to do that one. But you can do things very inexpensively, and you can get a bottle of wine. You can get some wine glasses. You can get some cheese and crackers or just some little sandwiches. If a brother wanted to do that, you can get a single rose. There are some inexpensive things you could do, because guess what? To a woman, that says so much more than you could just pick up the phone and make a reservation. If a man puts thought and energy into that, and it's like, wow, he could put buy 3 roses, puts rose petals down on a blanket.
Hold on, Dr. G. Now, be careful what you speak, because there's a brother watching you out there somewhere in Dallas, Texas, and all he's hearing is Dr. G said I can make some sandwiches and we can have a picnic in the park. So be ready, Doc, because that might be coming your way for Valentine's Day.
No, well, it needs to be, first of all, nice weather. It needs to be some of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But if he's thinking ahead of all that, a woman's going to be impressed because he put thought into that. And it's like, wow, you thought out this whole process. So, yeah. So there's hope for everybody, no matter what kind of budget that you're on, you know.
And everybody watching the show tonight, make it a great day. Like Dr. G said, if you don't have someone to go out with, do you. Buy yourself some flowers, buy yourself a cake, you know, post a picture of yourself about loving me. Because if you can love yourself first, it doesn't matter if anybody else loves you. That's called self-care. And Dr. G has a challenge that she's going to present. And I want everybody to take note, share this feed, write it down, take a picture, whatever you have to do. There's a Valentine's Day challenge that the L spot with Dr. G is getting ready to share with us. Dr. G, take it away.
Well, actually, it's for the love month. It's for the entire month.
Okay.
And this is a challenge every day. And definitely it's not just to the women, but the women struggle even more so with the self-love, because we are waiting to be chosen by somebody. But this is for everybody. But I want you every day to look in the mirror. This February, this love month, I want you to every day look in the mirror and say, you are incredible and I love you. No matter what. That's when you first wake up in the morning. You know, none of us, Brandon, are looking like we look when we on camera, okay? But that's when you really can embrace yourself. And while that sounds very simple, it's life-changing. If you do that over the next 30 days, you look in the mirror at yourself in the morning and you tell yourself, I am incredible and I love you. When I tell you, you're going to see what's going to happen, because I'm going to ask next month on the L spot, what kind of transformations happen when you can actually look. And if you don't believe it right now, you keep saying it. You keep looking in the mirror, not just once a day. Every time you pass by the mirror, you tell yourself, I love you. I'm telling you, we're trying to create love within inside.
I love it. I love it. Hey, everybody watching the feed tonight, Dr. Gladney and I have a treat for you. The first couple that tags in together on this feed tonight, we have a gift card for you. We're going to send you on a very special Valentine's date that you have to tag in. Here's what you have to do. You have to follow us on Instagram at Brandon Holt Show. You got to follow Dr. G at
Dr. Gladney.
Dr. Gladney. You have to subscribe to the YouTube page, The Brandon Holt Show, and you have to screenshot what you've done and put it in the comment section. And it has to happen during the show. And then we'll get all your information and we're going to send you and your significant other. Now, I didn't say we're sending you to the steakhouse that's going to cost $300, $400, $500, $600.
No.
We're going to hook you up on something that's going to be a great Valentine's Day for you. So, Dr. G, we love you on the Brandon Holt Show, and we sure appreciate the L spot with Dr. G.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I love this. I'm just wanting people to love themselves, and they can get in touch with me, drgladney.com, my website. Follow me, Dr. Gladney. Everything is there. Thank you for the opportunity, Brandon.
You're welcome. And everyone, don't think that Dr. G is only coming on once a month. Every now and then throughout the months, you may pop on again just to check on you and see how you're doing. Hey, stay tuned. We're going to go to commercial. Got to pay our bills. We'll be right back. Our next guest is an international, world-renowned actor, comedian, and producer. The Brandon Holt Show welcomes Annie McFunny McKnight. Come on, put your hands together for the one and only Annie McFunny McKnight in the house. Annie, how you doing?
Hey, Brandon, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Tell me what's going on in Los Angeles.
Oh, man, I just finished doing a show at the Laugh Factory. It was virtual, so trying to come in here and kick it with you.
Did you make them laugh though, Annie?
Oh yeah, I did my best. I had some pictures I wanted to show, but was unable to get those out. So it is what it is.
What's the best quick joke, clean joke that you told tonight?
That the pandemic pain is real.
So
The pandemic pain is real in so many ways. You know,
so
I had, like I said, I had pictures to accommodate.
So let's talk about, you've been in the game a long time. You're a very successful comedian. What was it like coming up for you? I know comedy then and comedy today. Take us into your journey.
Well, back then I used to, you know, when I came out here to California from Georgia, South Carolina, came to California to do my thing, and you know, comedy was on a heyday kind of sort of ride due to what was going on in the world at that time in the 80s. And I came out here and I knew Anthony Brown and I did my thing, and it was good. People were attracted to my comedy and me, and it just started flourishing. It was really, really nice.
Now, what about your comedy were people attracted to?
Well, they like the quick wit, they like the honesty, they like the clean, they like the dirty, they like a little bit of it all.
So, Annie, I noticed just from watching comedy, I love comedy. You have comedians who tell jokes, just jokes that aren't even real jokes. And then you have comedians who go with the flow. They just tell stories and they intertwine comedy in the story. How would you say your style is in between those two?
Well, I kind of do a little of both, to be honest with you. It depends on what strikes my mind. I kind of like go with my mindset, what's happening, who's doing what, how things are working out. That's kind of like how I roll. I go with because you know, comedy is such a wide, vast medium that you could do so much, say so much, be so much, because you're free. Comedy is a very free medium to be in, and I like that part of the freedom.
And comedians are great writers. They remain current. The good comedians are current. What's the key to being current?
Knowing what's going on in the world today, and being able to infiltrate that in your comedy. It can be difficult depending on the subjects, the topics, just like the pandemic pain. It's laughable, but at the same time, it's hurt.
You
Pain.
said
A lot of people have died, a lot of people unemployed. So it's a lot of pain.
And you said what's going on in the world today. What are your thoughts with the direction that the country is going?
Well, I hope there's a turnaround ahead. I hope people can get back to at least being civil. Even if you don't like somebody, for whatever your reasons are, your discrepancies for disliking someone, I think we have to get to a point where we have to be really acceptant of each other and know that life is full of do's, don'ts, likes, dislikes. But if you're able to carve out your own niche while you're here, because we're not here forever. While you're here, if you're able to do what pleases you, makes you happy, and is sane, it's not an insane thing, then I think you can be blessed. I think you just, because it's, you know, life is really short if you really think about it. Praise God for Cicely Tyson just passed, and 98 years old, and that's just magnificent to live that long and have that many years of success within the field of entertainment.
Do you have anyone that's inspired you along the journey that you like to share with us?
Oh, wow. I have to go back with a lot of the ladies back in the day. Pearl Bailey, Moms Mabley, who else that I really moving towards? I was trying to think, was Mary Tyler Moore. I used to love watching her show. Oh, wow. I could just go on for days and days of Lucille Ball. I was once compared to her. So it's so many different great women. You know, Phyllis Diller, when she started, she had children, was married, late 40s. And they told her she needed to go home and tend to her family and take care of her husband. So even within the arena of comedy, entertainment, there are so many discrepancies. So many people try to keep you from doing things.
And how do you find time to balance your personal life and professional life?
There is no personal life. Even when you think you got a break, somebody wants something. So
just take.
It is what it is. It's part of the business. You know, when you give yourself to entertainment, you're giving yourself to a lot of people, because a lot of people need a lot of entertainment. And so you have to be willing to share yourself. That's what I really would say. I think that's why you find a lot of entertainers are without spouses, without children. You know, some are without homes because it's not always a consistent thing. Even those who make big money, millions, you know, they can end up, that money runs fast, because with millions come all the other things that comes with million, the million bills, the million cars, the million this, the million that. So it's just being able to balance and know what's good and what's not good for you. That's how I kind of like make my escape.
Now, is there a key to longevity? You've been in the field a long time. A lot of people, they move careers quickly, but you've stayed in. What's the key to sustaining longevity?
I would say the key is being faithful, believing in yourself, doing what you want to do. That's really it. Because if you give up, then the magic leaves. Once the magic is gone, you can hang it up.
Most memorable experience on stage?
I got quite a few. Oh man. Most memorable. Oh wow. What would it be?
Or what's that one performance that really stood out to you amongst all of the performances that you've ever done?
Wow. I've been blessed. I'm funny. I've been blessed with the gift of talent, of humor. And oh wow.
Well,
I guess I would take it back, to BET. When I did BET and I got my standing ovation that night. It was great. And it wasn't my first, but it was good to have it televised. And I believe it was natural. The people really wanted to stand up. It wasn't like, oh, stand up because it's the end of the show. No, it was natural. It was an impulsive thing, and it was good.
And how'd that make you feel?
Very good. It made me feel like, okay, I'm in the right arena. I'm where I'm supposed to be, doing what I need to do.
Everybody, this is Annie McFunny, McKnight. Annie, one final word. What's the key to success for all of the viewers who are watching tonight, who are trying to elevate to the next level? They've been inspired by your story. What keys can you give someone that, hey, this is what you do to get to the next level?
You got to stay steadfast, and you must believe in yourself. And also, if you see yourself not making it, make sure you made the right decision. And there's nothing wrong with changing your mind. I would also like to say that, because sometimes you find people that just stay in the business, and they don't have any traction. Not saying they need to get out. However, maybe you need to do something else within the business. You know, there's so many facets of the business. You can be on the camera, you can be on the mic, you can be in wardrobe, you can be in makeup, you know, so it's so many facets. I would say find what's best for you, that you really, really enjoy doing, and that you can do it whether you get paid or not. That's really it with anything. If you can do it without getting paid, if you can't, leave it alone.
There it is, everybody. That's my good friend Annie McFunny McKnight, all the way from Hollywood, California, international comedian. Make sure you follow Annie on Instagram at
Annie McKnight. Comedian Annie McKnight.
Comedian Annie McKnight. Annie, thank you for coming on the show. Look forward to having you back soon.
Yes, thank you so much, Brandon. Keep up the good work, man. I love it.
All right, back at you, Annie.
All right, baby. God bless.
Hi, I'm John Horton, your founder of your Best Body at 40 Plus program for men. Follow me on the Brandon Holt Show every first Tuesday of the month at 7 Central Standard Time. And I'm gonna give you all the nutrition tips, exercise tips, and mindset tips that you need as a 40 plus man to get in shape.
Yes, is international fitness expert John Horton here to introduce his new segment, Get Fit with John. Check it out, y'all. He's all the way from the Netherlands, across the seas. Welcome, Coach John Horton. John, how you doing, sir?
Hey, my man, I'm doing well. How you feeling, Brandon? How's that workout working for you?
Coach, I'm hanging in there. You know, those first 30 days were kind of challenging, but mentally I'm trying to get myself back in the game.
Well, that's how it is. That's how it is, Brandon. You know, most of this, and we was talking about it earlier, is mindset, is the mental part, okay? And the training and the nutrition is just a repetitive process that you got to get used to. But the biggest challenge that most of us have is the mindset.
And I think when I started the meal plan, it was at first 1 to 2 days that I had to get through, because you know, you think about bread, the burgers, the sugar. If I can make it past those first 2 days, it seems like things slowly started to look on the upside. Is that common?
That you're absolutely right. That's absolutely common, normal, whatever you want to call that. What that is, that's a kicking stage. You want to say it like a drug addict, okay? Your body is getting detoxifying itself. Because let's keep it real. Sugar is a drug. Sugar is a poison for the body, all right? Let's just keep it real. All right. So whenever you start kicking yourself off of that, the body is going to fight back. Okay. Because it's a little bit dependent on that sugar rush. All right. So that's a normal thing. Some people, you've done pretty good. Some people, it takes them a week, 2 weeks. Okay. I'm proud of you. Like I said to you before, I'm proud of you. Keep pushing, buddy.
Appreciate that, Coach. So, Coach, is it common not to see results right away, like even within the first week? Because I was weighing myself every day. I was taking pictures every day, and I know you stopped that real quick.
Listen, what I tell everybody, all my clients that I have online or in my gym, you didn't get out of shape quickly. So to get back in shape, why expect the quick fix? But I can tell you something, it's not our fault. The media world out there and everything that surrounds us is always something quick fix and cheap. That's what's pushed to us. That's pushed to us mentally. Quick and cheap. Boom, boom, boom. And that does not work with the body. There is no such thing as a quick fix. So answering your question, before you start noticing anything, and I want to step one more point in there, is always look to the inside change before the outside.
What do you mean by that, Coach? What do you mean by that?
So what I mean is you will notice internally that you're training and that you're eating right way before you see the measurable things, okay, to your eyes, meaning the pictures are looking in the mirror, okay? That mirror look generally takes at least 2 to 4 weeks, all right? Measuring is another way. You got to measure, and you could and should see some kind of movement every week.
So, Coach, how important is it sticking to the meal plan? Because I know when you got me on the meal plan, I did my best. I stayed faithful and dedicated to it without deviation, especially those first 3 weeks. How important is that?
It's extremely important. Matter of fact, the meals, you hear it, a lot of different experts out there, along myself, we believe that the nutrition part is such a big part. It's more than half. You know, you're going to hear some say it's 90%. It very may well be, depending on your situation with your nutrition itself. But it's very important. Your nutrition is the key. But what's happening out there, and it's not our fault. It's, again, I'm not. Everybody needs a job, and I'm all about advertisement, and I'm all about the economy and things like this. But it's a little bit misleading. Okay, things tend to be a little bit misleading with all of this breakdown of nutrition. Oh, zero carbohydrates. Oh, plant-based only. Oh, keto diet. All of this, and I tell you, all of our health professionals have stayed constant with one thing for years: a well-balanced meal plan. That is sustainable. All these others are really not sustainable. Too many of us, and maybe it is for a few minority of them. But overall, for all of us, we need our 3 macros: carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. You have to find a way. And how you find that way is start off with portion size and your daily calorie intake. Okay? You can't improve anything if you don't track and measure, right? People say, oh, but I don't want to, weigh my food. I don't want to, put it in the app to see what my calories are. But any rich, successful person out there will tell you how they got there was by tracking and measuring their progress. That's the only way you can improve.
So let's go back for a second, Coach, and talk about calorie intake. Somebody who's trying to figure out, how do I find my calorie count? Can they Google it, look it up?
Absolutely.
How do they get the exact? How do they do that?
Absolutely, Brandon. So you can Google it. There's a lot of different platforms out there. Okay. They all use the same formula. The one that I always use is TDEE, Tom, David, Edward, the TDEE calculator. It's basic, it's fine, it's not overcomplicated. And what you do is you have to in-log or put in your age, your height, and your weight, and you click on it, and it's going to calculate, and it's going to give you your resting metabolism rate. That's your number, your RMR. Okay. Now that number is for us, for our mind, or just to know this is our standing point. That number right there is the amount of calories. For an example, if my number was 2,000 calories a day, then if I eat 2,000 calories a day, I will stay the way I am. But most of us don't want to stay the way we are. So in order to lose weight, we have to restrict calorie intake. Not much, okay, because you risk crashing your metabolism. But you got to drop it between 300 to 500 calories. Now, if you're a man out there looking to build muscle, then you need to add 500 more, 300 to 500 more calories into your meal plan, protein dominant.
Now, Coach, can you still build muscle and lose weight at the same time? Like,
absolutely.
Will building muscle still, shrink the weight size and cut the arms?
Absolutely, Brandon. And this is commonly known as body recomposition. But let me advise you on that. There is only a certain percent of us in this world that can do that. That is the most difficult challenge in exercise and nutrition and everything, just to do the body recomp. That's why so many strategies out there, and coming from the doctors, saying it's a little bit, I don't want to say easier, but it's a little bit better to break it up. In the beginning, drop the fat, and then progress your program to increase muscle growth.
And what I like about your program, Coach, when I first started, especially now that I'm doing the weight training aspect, is back in the day, I'd be in the gym 3 to 4 hours in one day, but this program is tight. It's 45 minutes, supersets, and maybe we can talk about supersets next month, but supersets, 60-second rest. But something else that really kind of intrigued me was sometimes we get in the gym and we just go real fast on the weights, but you teach going up quick and coming down slow. What is the science behind that?
Good one. Brandon, boy, I love you, buddy. Listen, that's called concentric and eccentric movement. Our muscles have 2 movements: a positive, meaning the force, where you feel the weight. If we're talking about what you were showing right there, if you're talking about shoulders, the force is pushing the weight up. So that's the concentric movement. And the return is the eccentric. Okay. Now, so many of us are good at utilizing that concentric movement, that burst, that explosion. But we're failing to recognize that there's a second side of it, and that's the eccentric. And the science says we are stronger on the eccentric movement than we are on the concentric movement. Okay. So what that means to us is we need to slow down on the negative, the eccentric. And that's what I've been teaching you. It's called a 1-3-1. Okay. A 1-3-1. All right. And it's a 1 second positive, 3 second negative, and a 1 second positive, 3 second negative. Okay. It's actually, let me, for not to confuse the people, if you really want to get deep in the industry, it's a 4 number. It's a 0-1-3-0. Zeros meaning no rest. So what I mean is, how we see in the gym, somebody's doing shoulders, they go up and they wait a second, then they come down, then they wait a second. Those are rest. What you need to stop doing is resting. So you go up positive 1 second and then immediately slow. Boom, slow. So now we don't have those little rests on the top and the bottom.
Now, Coach, I used to do a lot of cardio. I would do it before working out. I would do it after working out. Couple questions here. I would notice that my muscles, I was still getting flabby, but my muscles weren't growing. So you have me on, every other day doing a 10-minute HIIT sprint workout. So a couple questions. What is the significance behind the 60-second sprint, 60-second walk? And for those watching, when you go to the gym, do you advise doing your cardio before you exercise, or do your weights first if they're going to do it the same day?
Good ones, Brandon. Let's start off first about this issue about cardio and long cardio. Again, this isn't set in stone for everybody, but most of us, long cardio is only going to break our metabolism. Okay, because we're not trained, our bodies are not trained correctly like an athlete to utilize the calorie usage while we're doing the cardio. The body winds up eating itself for energy. Okay. All right. So that's on that aspect right there is that cardio. Now, where we're going to get to now is what you're talking about and what I adopted from and what I've researched and follow is I want to think of a sprinter. A person who runs the 100 meters and the 200, you look at our Olympic athletes or even any of our athletic athletes, that are in track and field. They pump weights and they sprint. That's how they keep that fat percentage down. So what the theory behind it is you're 1 minute. For the 1 minute, you're burning more calories than if you were just in a steady cardio. You're running up at 70, 80% of your max. Okay. And then you go down and you continue burning for the minute, although you're walking or walking fast. And then you burst up for that minute again, poof, the calorie explosion again. So that is, and you're only doing it for a 10, 15 minute amount of time. So you don't allow your body enough time to start eating away at that muscle, like an hour, 2 hour cardio routine. But again, I want to be, straight with the people that are listening, and we have our seasoned athletes, our elite athletes, and they can do this. Okay. But most of us fall in that. And that's another thing, Brandon. We see the best of the best out there, right? We see the best of the best in the media, wherever, and we want to compare ourselves to that. But that's where we got to stop. Be the best you can be of yourself.
Got it. Hey, everybody, this is Get Fit with Coach John Horton. John, I appreciate you, Coach. Looking forward to the journey. And I know everybody watching has really been inspired by the good word today. Coach, any final words?
Yes. I want to reach out there to my men 40 plus. All right. We got to get it under control. We're in a situation, you're at a time in your life where you're taking care of the family, taking care of yourself, and you're not, you have to take care of yourself. All right. My Your Best Body program at 40 plus for men is going to handle that. That's going to get rid of that stubborn body fat, whether it's your belly or your love handles. I'm going to help you increase your energy, your libido, and mostly all, we're going to create a little more muscle. So if you're interested, hit me up or contact the Brandon Holt and we'll get you going.
All right, everybody. Hey, that's Coach John Horton. We're going to go to commercial.
Hey, I'm attorney Symone Redwine. Check me out every month on the Brandon Holt Show. where you'll see my segment, Girl, Is That Legal? You can ask me legal questions, or you can just talk legal jargon and current events.
Attorney Symone Redwine, she has a segment coming on once a month. You don't want to miss it, and it is called
Girl, Is That Legal?
Girl, is it, what about guys? Is that legal?
Well, I'm the girl, so, and it came from my friends and different people in the community. Without questioning, ultimately, all the way now, so
Same principles though, but hey, Symone is a poppin' attorney here in Houston. She's going to be bringing it every single month. Got some great topics we're going to be talking about. Make sure you follow Symone on our Instagram page as well at...
Yeah, my Instagram is my name, Symone Redwine, and I spell Symone with a Y.
And follow the show at Brandon Holt Show. So Symone, let's go ahead and get started.
Absolutely.
Big things going on in Washington right now.
Yes, we have a new administration.
Well, first, let's talk about that.
Yes.
Just the whole inauguration process. What were your thoughts?
I was really nervous. I was so nervous for President Biden and Vice President Harris because, I thought those crazies were going to come up and try and do something. And who knows, they may have. But they weren't.
And on the news, I read, I think it was yesterday, that President Biden and his wife were sitting outside of the White House door. There was no one to let them in. And come to find out, the outgoing president, he fired the chief usher and sent all this come on now.
Petty, because he didn't want there to be anyone there to greet him. No good comes to people who behave like that. I mean, it's patently immature, and he's such an embarrassment to the country. So hopefully we can work on reestablishing trust with our allies and work on repairing our national reputation.
And the poet did just such a great job. Heartwarming to hear her poetry.
Yes.
So let's kind of talk about Biden. He came in, a lot of executive orders that he's putting down right away, really getting the people excited and happy and so forth. And so he has this student loan relief.
Yes.
Can you raise your hand? Do you need that?
I have student loans.
Come on,
Absolutely.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Hey, if you got a student loan out there, throw a like or throw a heart or put something in the comment section. Tell us, what does that mean exactly?
Yes, so this applies to federal student loans. It's not applicable to private student loans. And with respect to federal student loans, what he is offering is, if you'd like it, you have to call your student loan servicing company and request that you have a loan forbearance. What that means is that you don't have to pay for your loans from now through September. And he's allowing no interest will be accrued. So make that call while you can.
So Attorney Redwine, after September, then what happens?
After September, you have to resume your payments. And there's no balloon payment to make up for those missed payments. You have to check with your provider, but generally what they do is they add those payments towards the end of the loan or things like that. And so yes, so it's your federal student loans, but you must call. It doesn't happen automatically, and you can have that as a benefit.
So that's a good thing.
Great thing.
That's designed to help the economy, get everybody confidence again that, hey, I can get back student loans.
Absolutely. Well, I have a lot of people I went to law school with who are paying $1,000 a month in student loans. Well, that's 9 months worth of payments. That's $9,000 that they are able to postpone until either they get on their feet or what have you. And it's my understanding that you don't have to prove any type of financial hardship. You could be okay and just say, you know what? I want to move this payment to later on just in case, so that I have that money accessible.
I'm just asking, can I send my loans to the law firm?
No, you're going to trash.
And not just student loans, but Biden is really on it. The eviction moratorium.
Yes. Okay.
This is like really getting me excited. What does that mean?
So the eviction moratorium applies to anyone who's renting a property. And if you earn less than $100,000 a year, less than $99,000 a year for one person, or if you're a family of 2 adults or more, under $198,000, and you're having trouble paying your paying your rent, then you can, you need to fill out this declaration, which you can find a version of on cdc.gov. It's basically a declaration that says, I'm having trouble paying my rent. I make under the financial limitations. I'm going to pay what I can, but don't put me out. So what that means is that they cannot put you out between now and March 31st. But come March 31st, you'll need to make all of the missed payments or come up with payment arrangements with your landlord.
And make sure you're strategizing during that time to increase your funds, look for another job.
Yes.
Don't just see that as a couple of months
right.
off.
Yeah, and if you feel like you can't make that whole payment, you can also contact your landlord and ask them to make some type of payment arrangements. So maybe you can make half of it or a portion of it, and then in exchange for you making those payments, he can agree to not report it to the credit bureaus or to not put an eviction on your record.
Symone, I had a thought. I probably shouldn't say it, but I'll say it anyway.
It's your show.
You said contact your lawyer. I thought you were going to say contact Symone. It will help you get that payment made.
No, contact your landlord.
Contact Symone for legal issues.
Right.
Not
If you need to reach
financial
out to me,
issues.
my number is 1-855-4-Symone. That's 1-855-4-Symone, and Symone is spelled Symone.
Symone, thoughts on the vaccine?
You know what? So initially I was like terrified of it. And that was largely because I thought like, I didn't trust Trump. He doesn't believe in science. And I refused to take a vaccine that came from and was being pushed by a president who didn't believe in science, who walked out into a solar eclipse and looked at the sun. However, since then, I actually have a number of friends who are physicians and they've taken the vaccine. And one of them, he really convinced me, Dr. Bernard Ashby, he took the vaccine, he's only taken the first shot and showed that within 2 weeks he had antibodies already.
Really?
That was pretty impressive. Yes, that was pretty impressive. So my father's taken the vaccine, I had my mother set up, she's got an appointment coming up. So I'm waiting my turn. I'm gonna like to do it.
Are you watching to see the outcome before?
I'm waiting to see, who grows horns or, hair starts growing out of the back of your throat.
Well, I'm watching you, so you take it before me.
Oh, okay.
Check in with me, Symone, 2 weeks after how
Gotcha.
you're doing. So the unemployment rate is just COVID-19. A lot of people are really having a difficult time.
Yes, absolutely.
And it seems like we've got to find a way to lift our spirits. And the president's coming in and he's bringing in new policies to try to boost the economy.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
So I'm really excited about one of Biden's policies pertaining to unemployment, which is that, we've had a real big issue with employers not providing sufficient PPE for their employees. For example, I had a client who worked at CVS, Walgreens, one of those pharmacies, and they were not being given face masks. And they were given like one per week and told them to wear that all week? Absolutely not. Because where do you go when you're sick? The pharmacy where they were working. So what Biden has put in place is a rule that says if you are concerned about catching COVID from your work environment, then you can apply for unemployment and receive unemployment based on that. And remember, that unemployment is whatever your state says you're eligible for plus $300 a week. So it's a wonderful option for those who've got, people in your household who are susceptible or more likely to, die from COVID and so forth. So it's great to have that option. And then also, I want to make sure those out there who are self-employed or what we call gig workers like Uber drivers and makeup artists and hairstylists know that under the unemployment, the most recent stimulus, you can receive $300 a week in unemployment plus your state minimum, at least your state minimum. So for Texas, that's about $500 something a week, $500 a week. So, you want to go online and apply through unemployment through your state. Oh, and if you call and you're on one of those really, really long holds, a fun trick I use, not fun, but a hack that I use is hit the numbers for Spanish. Because the Spanish associates are bilingual.
Did y'all hear that?
They're bilingual.
Did y'all hear that?
Yeah, you can cut your wait time by like a fourth.
Wow. So Symone, last question.
Yeah.
Is, girl, is that legal? What are some of the questions? What's one of the top questions that you are asked on a regular basis?
You know what? I get a lot of questions about it, like if you're stopped by the police, if you have to let them search your car, and if the answer to that is no. Or, situations where a police officer will walk up on you. Do you have to show them your ID? The answer there is it depends. But basically, if they are not believing that you are a suspect in a crime, then no, they can't just walk up to you and say, hey, give me your ID. And if you don't want to give it to them, you don't have to in most states, including Texas. But here's how people get in trouble. They give them a fake name. You can't give them a fake name. Now that is an offense. It's a crime called failure to ID.
Is that legal?
It is not legal. That's failure to ID. So what people don't realize is failure to ID is giving a fake name, the wrong date of birth. Failure to ID is not actually saying I'm not going to give you my ID if it's an instance where you don't have to.
Hey everybody, that is attorney Symone Redwine. Girl, is that
Legal.
Hey, we're talking the Brandon Holt Show, meeting every Tuesday night, Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Don't want to miss it. Make sure you follow attorney Symone Redwine at
Symone Redwine on Instagram.com.
Instagram.com. There it is. It doesn't get any easier than that. Also follow the show on at Brandon Holt Show, also at Brandon Holt Sr. Catch us YouTube Live, The Brandon Holt Show. Facebook, The Brandon Holt Show. And Symone, your Facebook is?
My Facebook is Symone Redwine or Attorney Symone Redwine.
There it is, everybody. We're going to go to commercial. We'll be right back. You know we got to pay those bills. Peace.
Good job. You made that so easy.